Hello everyone. So far we have learned how to create a web server using Express framework and how to respond to different routes. We learned that we can use send method of the REST parameter to send HTML codes to users and create pages like this. But we know that this is not the page that we want to show for our users. It's pretty simple, and if our website grows, we cannot continue with this approach. Here is where templates come into play. Node.js supports several templating engines. One of the most famous one is called EJS, which is perfectly work with Express framework. EJS allows us to define templates using some HTML codes and placeholders. To start using EJS, actually we need to install EJS first. So in the terminal we type npm install EJS. Then we need to tell the Express framework that we are going to use EJS view engine. To do that, we need to type app.set view engine, and for the second parameter EJS to tell that the view engine in this application is EJS. Now we can define some templates. By default, EJS looks for a folder called views to find templates. We can change this default, but let's go with that. So in our project, we create a new folder, views, and then inside this folder, we create a template, index.ejs. Now, in the EJS file, we define actually our web page. Let's add a placeholder to this part. We have several options to define a placeholder. If you want to just put a text, add a text to your template as is, you can type <sign character percentage equal, then type your value or variable name, and then close this placeholder by % and greater than sign like this. Now in the body you can have your full HTML page. You may have some menus, and you may have main section and footer. And actually we usually want to show the dynamic part in the main section, so I add a placeholder here and say body. Now I need to pass two parameters to this template, title and body. Let me save this page, go back here, and this time instead of typing this and sending this to the user, I use render method and type the template name without saying EJS, and in the second parameter of the render method, actually we need to specify the parameters for the template. Here you have some options. You can define some variables with the exact name as the template parameters. In this case, in the template, we used parameters title and body. So you can do something like this. For example, new date to local. And then pass the variables as is to this engine. Let me restart the server and check our code. As you see, we could pass the parameters, title and body, and the template is shown appropriately to us. To make templates more sense, let me complete the template, add some HTML and CSS rules to it, and later continue with this stuff. I pause the video right now to save your time. Okay, I created a template for my website. So to do that, I define a stylesheet file. I put it in the public folder, and to use this static file, if you remember, we need to add this command to our main project to specify the location of our static files. Then here in the index, I linked the stylesheet file, assuming that it is in the root of my website. Also, I added some stuff to the header, menu, and footer. Now the page looks like this. Also, I created 3 links. One of them goes to the home page, and the second one is supposed to go to a page called register, and this one is supposed to go to about. Let's go back to our code. And let's create a view for the register page and another view for the about page. One option is to come to this page and copy this file and paste it exactly as they are in this new templates, and then just modify the main part. For example, here you can change it something like this. Example name, let's get it from the main program. And let's add a road to our server. This time you should say res render the about page and pass some parameters. We usually read these parameters, actually this information, from database, or we just return the stuff that user themselves passed to us in the previous record. Let's say name, Reza, email. Actually, this is the second type of passing parameters to the server, to a template. You saw in the previous example that we defined some variables with the exact name as the template parameters, and we passed the variables. Now you see that we can assign any value to these parameters and define the parameters as key value pairs separated by comma. Let me save this code and actually let me save everything and then restart the server. Now if we go here and go to about page, we see some problems. Let's fix it. Now we don't have title, so I forgot to pass title. So here I should say title. Okay. And again, I need to restart my server. Okay, this time it should work. You see, home, about.